Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have with us Michelle from Mass Ptac, who is going to share a lot of great information about contracting with the state and with the federal government. Um, Michelle, I'll let you do the intro for Ptac and for yourself. I know you're going to share a lot of information as you go through. If you have any questions, folks, as always, please pop them into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we are going to address them at the end. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michelle. And
Thank you.
I will disappear for now.
Okay. Thank you, Thais. And thank you to the Mass LGBT Chamber of Commerce. I'm happy to be here, and thank you all for sharing your lunch hour with us. My name is Michelle Simoes. I'm a procurement specialist for Massachusetts Ptac. This is my information on this front page. And I'm sure that someone will be getting you these slides in case you need my information and you need to contact me. So what is Ptac? We are a Procurement Technical Assistance Center. And what we do is we help businesses contract with the government, whether it be federal, state, or local. Okay. How do you find a Ptac in your state if you're not from the great state of Massachusetts? This is a link right here to show you. And if you are from the great state of Massachusetts, which I'm sure you are, we're doing a Massachusetts Chamber of Commerce webinar, but you have to be headquartered in Mass, and you have to have a valid email and access to the intranet in order to be a client. I'm not sure, my slide is cut off for me to show you the link, but there is a link here, and I'd be happy to get you that link if you need that and you would like to sign up for our services. And by the way, our services are free. So what do Ptacs do? We assist firms with how to research and bid on solicitations, how to register your business with certain organizations and .gov, like sam.gov and all of those types of things that you're going to need to do. You need to register your business with these certain places in order to do business with the government. We can help you do that. We also have bid matching services available, and we also help with pre and post award contracting issues. The agenda, what we're going to talk about today. So I want to let you know that this is just a basic overview of federal and state requirements and government contracting, okay? We may dig deeper in other webinars, but this is just an overview, okay? So we're going to talk about federal and state registrations and certifications. We're going to talk about where to look for government opportunities. We're going to talk about how to find procurement forecasts and what they are. And we're going to tell you how to properly make your business visible to the federal and the state government. So for state registration, in the state of Massachusetts, your business must be registered with the state of Massachusetts. And you can do this by going to the Secretary of State's office and registering your business. Then, if you want to do business with the state, you have to register your business on Combis, okay? And Combis, the link is here, but Combis is the state of Massachusetts procurement website, for those of you who don't know. So, I need more coffee. So for state certification, I want to there's a lot of acronyms, so I wanted to throw this out at you. OSD is Operational Services Department, and that's under the state of Massachusetts. And within the Operational Services Department, there's the Supplier Diversity Office, okay? There are multiple small business certifications that you may be eligible for. I listed here a few. There are more, and I'll explain it to you. So there's Minority Business Enterprise, Women Business Enterprise, and Veteran Business Enterprise. The reason why I chose these three is because they have benchmarks next to them, meaning there are goals next to these three certifications that prime contractors have to meet. Okay, so there are more state certifications like the LGBT certification. That does not yet have a benchmark next to it, okay? So before you do or you gain any one of these certifications, or if you want to apply for one of these certifications, you have to take a mandatory 2-hour pre-certification workshop. Then you can submit your application. And this is the link to do that, okay? So for registrations, for federal agencies and prime contractors, if you want to do business with the federal government and with prime contractors, by the way, prime contractors are the ones that hold a direct contract with the government, okay? You have to obtain a free DUNS number, okay? Then you have to register your, your business in the system for award management. This is also free. And within that, there's the SBA Dynamic Small Business Search, okay? That's getting a little bit too far into it, all right? We'll talk about that maybe next time, but it's within SAM. You can register yourself in the SBA Dynamic Small Business Search. And then you will get a cage code once you're registered in SAM. For federal small business certifications, they differ from state, okay? So I listed them here. And there's the 8A Business Development Program. This needs to be certified by the SBA. There's a Hub Zone program, also needs to be certified by the SBA. There's a Women-Owned Small Business Program and an Economically Disadvantaged Women-Owned Small Business Program. You can either certify by the SBA, through the SBA, it's for free, or you can get certified by a third-party certifier, and that's for a fee. And then there's a service-disabled veteran-owned small business program, which you can self-certify or you can get certified by the VA, also free, okay? Now, these programs you may be eligible for, and you can go into the SBA.gov website and look under the tab Federal Contracting, and it lists all of these programs, and you can take a look, do your homework, and see if you're eligible for any of these, okay? Small business goals. For the federal government, 23% of all federal government contracting dollars need to be awarded to small businesses, okay? So that means that when the federal government gives $1 million contract to, let's just say, Raytheon or one of the big boys, we call the prime contractors, Raytheon, Boeing, General Dynamics, any one of those, just using those as an example. If they give that contract to one of those prime contractors, the government, prime contractor says, yes, government, we know your goals flow down to us. So now we, as the prime contractor, have to spend 23% of our contract dollars with small businesses. And under that small business umbrella, you have different percentages. Women-owned small business, 5% of that goal has to go to them. Small disadvantaged businesses, 5% of that goal has to go to them. Service-disabled veteran-owned small business, 3% has to go to them. And then you've got Hub Zone, and 3% has to go to them, okay? Where are opportunities posted? So for the state of Massachusetts, you go to Combis. That is the state procurement website. There's a link here, okay? You can also look under agency sites. I have, for example, here MBTA, or a city site or a local site, okay? City of Lowell, or City of Lawrence, or City of Haverhill, or the town of, I'm not sure, okay? You go to the city of Somerville. You could go anywhere and look for their opportunities that are posted, okay? For federal opportunities, you want to go to beta.sam.gov, and you can also go to GSA schedules. Procurement forecasts. Procurement forecasts are helpful because this is telling you what the state or the federal government is going to buy in the future. All right. So for the state of Massachusetts, you want to go onto Combis, then you want to go and you want to scroll down right on the front page. You're going to see it. You're going to scroll down and go to information about statewide contracting purchasing. and then you're going to go to Procurement Forecast. And you can see what the state of Massachusetts plans on buying in the future. Same with federal, okay? You can go to acquisition.gov, which is very helpful. It has, to me, it's clear. It has icons right on the front page, and you will see as one of those icons down the bottom says Procurement Forecasts. If you click on that, you're going to see all of the federal agencies, and then to the right, all of their procurement forecasts. All right. Then there's something that's called Federal Procurement Data System. This has changed. This is now going to beta.sam.gov. That's where you will find the procurement forecasts for the federal government. And a lot more than that, too. You'll find what agencies buy and things like that. You can also look at usaspending.gov. That has more information as well. How to make your business visible. So this is what we're going to talk about in this section. We're going to talk about a capability statement. We're going to talk about how to have a government-friendly website. We're going to also talk about vendor registrations and supplier portals, industry organizations, and networking events. For a capability statement, this is a one-page marketing tool. It's like a business resume, okay? In this virtual world, you want to have one of these, especially if you want to do business with the government, because when you reach out via virtual email or anything, you want to attach your capability to your email, your capability statement. I'm sorry, I didn't finish that. You want to attach it to your email because federal government contracting officers look for this type of thing. They want a quick glance at what your company is capable of doing, and this is the way you're going to give it to them. So how to have a government-friendly website. This is important, okay, because this tells the world you're ready to contract with the government, all right? You put a tab on your website, it says government contracting, and then underneath that tab, you might want to put your capability statement. You definitely want to put all your codes. Remember that cage code I told you about? When you registered in sam.gov, you're going to get a cage code. And then there's some other codes that you want to put on there too, but that's getting a little bit too far into it, and we just want to kind of cover the basics, all right? So if you want to do business with a prime contractor or a large business, you want to register in their supplier portal, okay? You can either go to their small business office, or you could go to their vendor portal, or you could go to their small business liaison officer, and that's the acronym is SBLO. Now, this is what you want to do. You want to do some homework. If you want to do subcontract work for a prime or a large company, you want to see who you want to do business with. And then when you find out who you want to do business with, that's when you want to go to their vendor portals and register for this and to sign up for this. I listed a few here just for you to look at. There's the Department of Energy, and that is where you would go to locate some of their information is the Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization Office. The Department of Homeland Security also has a site, and you see it here. It's How Do I Do Business with the DHS? And you can click on that and you can find out. Also, Raytheon has a supplier portal. And in order to do business with Raytheon, you have to go in their supplier portal and register your business. There's some industry organizations as well, right? And they provide, they're separate, they're for a fee, but they provide trainings, they provide networking events. If you look here, I just listed a few, like, for example, it's called SAME. It's the Society of American Military Engineers. And that is a separate organization for a fee. You can be a member, but you have access to networking and trainings and things you might not find otherwise. Networking events. So This is a big one in the federal government. It's called a matchmaker. And a matchmaker is usually when there's no COVID-19, but usually you go to a big room and you see either these agency representatives or prime contractor representatives, and they sit behind a table, and you go and sit in front of them and you give them your capability statement and you kind of try to make a match. So you're asking these agency representatives and these prime contractor representatives what they have available for contracting opportunities, and you can then tell them about what you do. And then after 10 minutes, they ring a bell and you move to the next table. So it's like speed dating for the government, right? In this virtual world, I've seen them doing virtual matchmakers. So it's a good thing to do because it provides networking on your part. Okay. Also, there's industry days for certain places. I've seen Hanscom Air Force Base do an industry day where they present their current or future procurement forecasts, like current meaning what they have for contracting opportunities, or future meaning what they're going to need in the future. And then you can make a match there. Okay. Here, I just provided some of the latest COVID-19 links. If any of you need links for PPE or anything like that, this is the link here. There's also some information on cybersecurity in case you need information about that. And there's also any training that you might want or need, you can go to this link and you can sign up for some of our Mass Ptac training. But I really encourage you, if you really want to do business with the government, I encourage you to do your homework, make sure that the government is buying what you're selling, and then go from there. If you have questions or you need answers or you need help with anything that you just heard me talk about, I'm your girl. Sign up and we will help you. It is free. We are federally funded, so we can help. Okay. I am ready for questions and answers, or I'm ready for questions. I'll try to give the answers.
Hi, everybody. Thank you again, Michelle, for that presentation. As Thais said at the beginning of the meeting, feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A box, and I will start reading them off right now. The first question we have right now is, DUNS numbers require a business address, not a home address. Many of us use home offices. What should we do about that?
So with the DUNS number, it's free, and I have a certain phone number that you can call and ask that question to them. But I think that if you're using your home address for your business and you're registered within the state as doing business, in your home, your business is it's your business address as well. I think that's fine. It should be fine.
Cool. All right. The next question, is there support to apply for SAM and the cage number?
Oh, yes. So sam.gov is a registration. You have to be registered in sam.gov in order to do business with the federal government. That's how you will get paid, through SAM. Okay. It is a very safe environment. If you're asking if I can provide support, absolutely. I can walk you through the registration. No problem. I've done it a million times. I know it like the back of my hand. So if you need help with anything like that, definitely reach out. I will have you sign up for our services and I can provide help for that.
All right, next question. How can we use our LGBT BE certification to its highest benefit?
Say that one more time, Michael. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. How can we use our LGBT business enterprise certification to its highest benefit?
To its highest benefit. So right now, there is no, all right, let me go back. And remember what I said about Massachusetts state small business certifications, and there were certain ones that have benchmarks next to them, right? So those ones I mentioned, the MBE, WBE, and the DBE have benchmarks. I'm sorry, the VBE, I'm very sorry. VBE have benchmarks next to them, meaning there are goals that prime contractors have to adhere to. They should adhere to them, right? And they have to do business with a certain amount of the MBEs, VBEs, and WBEs. Okay, there's a percentage next to those three. For right now, I believe that I think, the Supplier Diversity Office within the state of Mass is looking to get the LGBT certification to get a goal for that certification. You can ask them as to where they are in their process. But for right now, if you have that certification, I would use it as a marketing tool. Definitely use it as a marketing tool, depending on what industry you are trying to get into. And again, we can talk offline. I can be of more help with that. So reach out.
Thank you. This is a follow-up to the person who has a work from home address.
Sure.
They say, I use UPS shipping store as mailing address, not the home office, so they do not accept that address.
Oh, they don't. That I'm not sure. You have to reach out to Dunn's and say to them, this is what you're doing, and this is, what would they accept? Yeah.
Are there opportunities for consulting services companies from your experience?
For consulting? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. More state of Mass than federal, but definitely I've seen in the state of Mass.
What are the steps to sign up for PTAC assistance, and how long does that take?
That takes a day or two, and the steps to sign up, so it's at the front of my presentation. I'm gonna go back, and I don't know. Hang on one second here. Let me see. I can't see it. So wait a minute. Here we go. Here it is. It's right here. So if you go to this website right here, this link, you can definitely sign up for our services. Or if you reach out to me with my email, I will send you the link to sign up for our services. Okay. And this is my email again. Hold on, my email right here.
And I just put that link and Michelle's email both in the chat to everybody. If you want to just take a quick check there, you'll be able to see that info.
Turn the ball, Michael.
Can you respond to grants for the federal government even though you are certified in the state of MA? In other words, do you have to be registered with the Fed?
Grants are not my thing. I do not provide information. I will send you to the appropriate person for grant information, for federal grant information, or for state. They can help you with both. So if you want, reach out and I can help you do that.
We have a couple of people asking if you are sharing your slides, like after, sure. like after the webinar.
Oh, sure. I can, Michael, you have my permission to share the slides. If you have a list of people that have joined today, absolutely share those slides.
All right, thank you. I'm going to take a quick screenshot of everyone who attended so I can remember that list more easily. All right, thank you. If I have state and federal LGBTCC certifications, is it still worthwhile to have the women's own businesses certification? So
I do not believe there is a federal LGBT certification. There is definitely a state of Massachusetts. Would it make sense to be women owned as well? Absolutely. Because I'm going to tell you why. Number one, The federal government double dips. So within that small business 23%, it behooves a company or a small business to be more than just a small business, right? If they're a woman owned, the company can check off that woman owned box. And if they're like a service disabled veteran, they can check off woman owned and service disabled veteran, so they can double dip. So they will look for those types of certifications. Now, back to the federal government for women owned small business. That is one of the percentage points. If you saw, right? Let me just go, hold on. Okay, I went too far. Sorry. Here we are. Okay, so you see this? Here, right here, it says 23% of all federal government dollars need to go to small businesses, but an extra 5% needs to go to women-owned, right? So it's going to behoove you to get that woman-owned small business certification. Again, back to state, you see here, women business enterprise, it would behoove you to get that certification as well, because a woman's business enterprise, I believe 14% of the state's government spend. So a prime contractor within the state would have to spend a certain amount of money with women business enterprises. So that's another thing. So it will behoove you to get those two certifications. Absolutely.
Sorry, I was just taking another screenshot of the attendance list.
Okay.
And then there's a tag on from someone else to that question where they're asking, what does that apply to minority business owners too, like racial minority?
Yes, the state definitely. So you see here, minority business enterprises, right? And then minority, I keep going the wrong way. Yeah. So minority, there's a program within the federal realm called the 8A Business Development Program. You may be eligible for that. 8A is you have to be socially and economically disadvantaged to be in the program. But it, like I said before, it would benefit if you would go to the SBA.gov, you look under federal contracting, there's a tab, federal contracting. Once you're in that tab, it's going to give you all of these programs. You should look and see if you're eligible for each one of them, and then look to see how it's going to benefit you. It will say that right on there. Okay.
All right, and that is all I have for questions at the moment. We'll give it another minute or so just to see if anyone has any last minute questions.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I speak for the whole chamber and say thank you, Michelle, for coming on. I know our members really appreciate all the information you share with them today. It's going to be super helpful, especially in a time like this where businesses need even more support than usual. It's great to have these kind of webinars, and we're really thankful that you were able to join us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to share.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like we have no further questions. So I think we can call this a webinar. Thank you again, Michelle. Thank you to everyone who attended. Our next webinar is on November 5th with Joshua Sky from the Sky's the Limit Consulting. That webinar is titled Work from Home Time Mastery Tips. If you want to sign up, feel free to go on malgbtcc.org/events. We have an event page for it, just like there was for this one. It's the same process as always. That sounds like it's going to be a really good webinar. It's going to be a very nice, calming webinar, and it's going to be 2 days after the election. So I think that's the kind of mood we're all going to be searching, that nice, relaxing midday vibe, no matter what happens on the 3rd. So please feel free to join us there. And if you want to rewatch this webinar, we're going to be posting it on our YouTube channel either tomorrow or at the beginning of next week. Thank you again, Michelle, and I hope everyone else has a great rest of their afternoon.